Hello there, welcome. Hope you're having a great day today. We are talking about Judges chapter 14 today. And if you haven't already liked, followed, subscribed to my channel, please do so. I would greatly appreciate it. So in today's chapter, we are continuing to talk about Samson. And Samson has gotten older and he sees a lady that he is interested in. Now, he tells his parents that he's interested in this lady, and they kind of try to discourage him, but he wants to pursue her anyway. And during this story, we know from reading the Bible that Samson was really, really strong. He had this superpower strength, and he encountered a hungry lion that actually attacked him. And it tells us that at that moment, the Spirit of the Lord came powerfully upon him, and he ripped the lion's jaws apart with his bare hands. He did it as easily as if it were a young goat. That is very, very strong. We know that lions are apex predators. They're at the top of the food chain, and they are very, very dangerous. And he was able to rip this lion's jaws apart and kill it. Well, after this happened, we read that he later saw the lion or its carcass, and bees had began to build, I guess, a hive in its carcass, and there was honey, and he scooped the honey out of this lion that he killed. In verse 12, it says, this is after arrangements had been made for him to marry this lady. He tells them this riddle, Samson does. He says, Samson said to them, let me tell you a riddle. If you solve my riddle during these 7 days of celebration, this was leading up to his wedding, I will give you 30 fine linen robes and 30 sets of festive clothing. But if you can't solve it, then you must give me 30 fine linen robes and 30 sets of festive clothing. All right, they said, they agreed, let's hear your riddle. And this is what he said. Here's the riddle. Out of the one who eats came something to eat. Out of the strong came something sweet. Well, these people try to figure this riddle out for 3 days, and they can't do it. So they go to Samson's wife-to-be, and they tell her, why don't you go to Samson and see if you can sweet talk him and get the answer to this riddle from him so that we can solve it. And she does that. And Samson is furious. He is furious. He gets mad. He kills 30 men. He calls off the wedding. So it doesn't have a very happy ending. And instead of using this strength that God has given him for good, he uses it in a bad way. Our footnote today talks about verse 19. It says, God gave Samson a special gift, and Samson impulsively used it for selfish purposes. God distributes abilities and skills throughout the church today. The Apostle Paul states that these gifts are to be used to do his work and build up the church, the body of Christ. To use these abilities for selfish purposes is to rob the church and fellow believers of strength. As you use the gifts God has given you, be sure you are helping others, not just helping yourself. So something to think about. Thank you so much for watching today. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see you next time.